Hello, YouTubers. Joe Curza here on Friday, July 31st, 2015 at 17:30 in the afternoon, Eastern Daylight Time. And I want to tell you a story about a liver, not a transplant, but a liver harvest. A harvest. Back when I was working at Grant Medical Center. And meanwhile, though, first a little bit of an update. Now, as you saw, Paul's a little bit bunged up, and he soldiered off to work today, taking his sling stuff with him, but not wearing them. And and he fessed up to well, he didn't, not the general manager, but his immediate supervisor, and he was sent. But I knew he was going to get sent home because they wanted to cover their behinds, of course, and said he can't come back till he gets a doctor's note. Well, the earliest he can get a doctor's note, I'm not allowed to issue him one, since I'm in an intimate relationship. Well, an emotional relationship anyway with this guy. And he lives at my address, so that pretty much in the state of Ohio puts the kibosh on me saying anything. Until he sees this doc on Monday, August 10th. So I assume the guy's going to say, do the best you can and see what you tolerate. And I don't know. Maybe he'll say, "Oh no." I don't know. On the other hand, maybe by that time some horrible complication will have arisen. That's not going to happen with this. I hate to. I know I sound like I'm minimizing it because on the rare occasion these can be serious. That's not the case here. Anyway, so he called. He made an appointment, and so. Meanwhile, then he'll be able to witness the initial tree cutting down and culling, because when he dear Lord Almighty, the middle of late morning he went out and bought some beverages. He had his arm. Let's see, his arm. He's got it's a right arm. He's, driving one-armed. Sort of like one of these suburban women, with an ear to their phone, driving one arm. So he went over and bought some beer and cigarettes and things. Coke. Well, no, it didn't look like he bought any Coke, unless he's left that out in the truck. He may have left the Coke out in the truck. That's Diet Coke, not like Coke. So, and in the meantime, he's had 2 extended naps. Now when he awakened, well, I wasn't sure he was awake from the first one. I wasn't sure. I saw the light come on in his room and shine out through the hall into the bathroom, from the bathroom. I always getting up. So I turn the lights back on in the kitchen, so it doesn't shine in. I turn them off when he's in there, so it doesn't shine into his room. And he's kind of fiddling with himself. He's fiddling with the top of his pants. He's getting ready to jack off or something. And his eyes are closed. I mean, it looked to me for all the world like he was asleep. And just sort of doing this. Because I've often thought this, he sort of sleepwalks and does a lot of stuff in his sleep anyway without realizing. I thought, well, hell, this this is like starting one of these erotic short stories, you know. So and so's boyfriend stood at the kitchen sink, looked through the bedroom door, and saw, you know, so and so's hands, you know, slipping down into his pants, you know, and he, you know, seized with love and desire. He went in and decided to give him, you know, I mean, that one of those sorts of stories, you know. The best one who writes that sort of stuff is R.J. March. R.J. March. Read his stuff. It's great. I don't know if he's still writing or not, but he wrote a lot of stuff around 15, 20 years ago. Well, 10 to 15 years ago. In any case, so upon further observation, it was clear, no, he was just trying to get his pants on or zipper undone or some damn thing. And shortly thereafter, he did emerge and said that he, you know, that's what he'd been trying to do. And we had a little bit of a laugh over that. Well, a little bit of fantasy fodder for Joe on that one. So then, you know, we've been out on the porch yakking and so forth, and then up until about 15 minutes ago, he came back in and had another nap. It was like off into the bedroom, and no story to tell at the end of that little sojourn. I try to keep my computer down, but, you know, during the second sojourn, I just was watching my YouTube stuff, but, you know, the volume, I usually watch it when he's at work. Oh, well, screw it, you know. Yeah. Now, yesterday / this morning, early this morning, I told you about a guy I worked with that ended up injecting sufentanil into his penis. Oh, stop roaming around my table. And today I'm going to tell you another story. I love to tell stories. I'll try to keep this one short. Yeah, all right. Back in the early days of liver transplantation, you know, they had to harvest these things. I mean, you know, there weren't that many centers that did liver transplantation. But, you know, you can snatch these organs out of, you know, car wreck victims wherever they happen to be, assuming you had a team ready to zoom in and snatch it and put it in the freezer. Go back to the center and, you know, stick this thing in. And probably one of the most violent procedures you can still do to a human being and not call it a war crime. So at that time, I can't even really tell you where this fellow came from. Oh, I just remembered the guy's name. I can't tell you the guy's name. But he came to, you know, Grant Medical Center. Well, Grant Hospital, but they always like to say Grant Medical Center. And to harvest this liver from this unfortunate individual. Stop that. Well, you know, he brings in, you know, he comes in a Learjet, and, you know, and he's got his perfusion team, and he's got his instrument team, and he's got, you know, his assistants. Yeah, this is like the circus comes to town. Meanwhile, you know, since I'm on call, I'm being made to, quote, take care of this dead patient. This patient's dead. I don't even know why I'm there. You know, this patient is dead. You're asking me to basically take care of a laboratory experiment. Now, in another story, I'll tell you how I managed to square myself with that, but not today. Meanwhile, so this guy comes in, and he had these curved scissors. Well, it's not special. I mean, it's a standard implement, but these curved scissors, were, let's see, let me show you. It's sort of like, okay, scissors, can do this, or it can be curved slightly. But these are like right angle scissors, so he can slide back around the liver and get the hepatic veins, right up against the diaphragm. Great tools. You can use them for other things too, but that's, it seems that his instrument tech, who had been highly touted as one of the best in the United States at this business. This guy was very full of himself and yammering. He was, it's like he's coming in to entertain the locals. That's what it amounted to. What a piece of work. Not a bad surgeon, but what a piece of work in terms of how he managed things. So, it seems that this guy had forgotten that too. So, one of our circulating nurses who was in the room said, well, Dr. So-and-so, who was one of my nemesis, there weren't too many nemesis in the surgeons there, because I got along with all but three anyway, all but three. This guy, now, God bless our neighbors to the north. I think Canada is a wonderful country, and I think Canadians are wonderful people. I really do. I'm not trying to sound sarcastic. I really mean that. Well, this guy fled. I shouldn't say fled. This guy came to the United States. Never took out U.S. citizenship, despite having been here over 30 years. And was one of the most arrogant he's the guy that would make fun of me in the surgeon's lounge, for being gay. He was that kind of a guy. Anyway, so this circulating nurse says, "Well, Doctor So and So has one of those in his kit, on his instrument tray." And this guy from a transplant center about 200 miles to the east of us said, "Oh, well, see if he'd be willing to let me use them." And so word was sent. Usually this guy, this fellow that was my immigrant nemesis, if you will, he'd be out the door. First of all, he wasn't there every day, but when he was there, he generally was out the door by about 3 or 4, unless he wanted to sit in the lounge and bullshit and pontificate about how he knew more about everything than everybody else. So he was in there, and this is like 7 o'clock at night. Well, not night. Well, yeah, it was night. But it was in the winter, so it's night. He said, "Oh, of course. Oh, I admire this man so much. I'd be honored to have this man use my tool." Let's run that again. I'd be honored to have this man use my tool. And I thought, yeah, all right, yeah, I bet you'd like this guy. Actually, I think in a way he would have liked this guy to use his tool. I think he was closeted as all get out. All these guys that are hateful to gays are, well, not all, but the vast majority are. So the scissors were duly produced from this guy's set. And this guy from a transplant center 200 miles to the east of us. Bear in mind, this is all happening around 1990, 1989, 1991 at the latest. He's working on it. He says, These are pieces of shit. And he throws them against the wall. And I'm up there at the head of the table, ventilating his dead body. And I said this, I hadn't opened my mouth the entire time. But I did say then, finally. Oh, that's what would have happened to the scissors anyway, since Dr. So-and-so is a notorious thrower of, dead instruments, when the time comes. And he would do that, he wouldn't just say, oh, this is no good, put it aside. He would throw it against the wall. And I said, that was a very appropriate end for that tool, because that's what would have happened to it anyway. And I said, he probably feels flattered that you did it rather than he did it. And then I shut up for the rest of the dismemberment, or, chopping up, or autopsy in situ, autopsy in vivo, or whatever you want to call these harvesting. As you might tell, I have a fairly ambivalent attitude toward being involved in that. That's an extended discussion for another day, which I probably will not get into. Oh, I will tell you, though, how I learned to reconcile all that stuff, all my disquietude with this, with my pocketbook. But that's for another day. So, anyway, the organ got snatched. They all got back on the plane. They went back to a transplant center about 200 miles to the east of us. And there we were. And I stayed there the rest of the night for my sins. All right. Bye-bye, YouTubers.